Every skill you've ever learned follows a pattern. Not just in calisthenics, in everything. But most people never see the full picture. They get stuck in one part of the process and they think that's all there is. So either they quit or they plateau for years. And the truth is, it's not because they're not capable. It's most likely because they don't understand what's going on. They don't get the framework. So today, we're gonna break it all down so by the time you finish this video, you have everything you need to achieve any skill you want. But before I even talk about stages, there's something underneath all of it. A foundation that the whole process is built on. You gotta set a goal. So for today, I'm gonna be explaining everything in the context of planche push-ups because that's a goal that I set for myself a few years ago, and I feel like I worked so hard to reach the top of the pyramid with this skill. But this can apply to absolutely any skill. Stage 1, discovery. You've set the goal, you've seen the skill, you've realized, okay, this is it. I wanna learn how to do this. So let me try to figure this out. And that's when you go on a quest. You might hop on YouTube, start going down tutorial rabbit holes. So you're telling yourself, okay, let me understand what my goal is. Like, what is it I'm trying to do? What does it consist of? How's it done? What's the physics of it? What's the theory behind it? And through your research, you're gonna understand more and more about your goal. And at this stage, you might even realize there's like prerequisites for your skill that you don't even have yet. Like if my goal is a planche push-up, well, before I can even do a planche push-up, I have to have a full planche. So if you don't have the prerequisites, maybe those should be your goal first. So discovery is where you're gonna be looking at the resources that are going to help you. So that means tutorials, maybe you're gonna look at a good coach or an ebook. And ideally, the conclusion of this stage should be, okay, I know what I'm missing and now I need a plan. That's what we call programming. And I'm gonna be honest, okay, harsh truth. If you don't know anything about programming, most of your time is going to be wasted. And I know it sucks, but it's normal. However, if you want to get as good as you can, as fast as you can, you gotta learn how to program. All right, before we move on to stage 2, I wanna take a second to thank the sponsor of this video, Into the AM. If you guys haven't noticed, I've been wearing their t-shirt all day. I am super stoked to partner up with this brand. I've honestly been looking for like nice basic t-shirts for a very long time. Like every time we go out, Lucy is on me. She's like, bro, all you have is compression tees and tank tops. When you gonna get some nice, good looking, normal t-shirts? And finally, when I partnered up with these guys, I was like, jackpot. Their t-shirts are awesome. They feel great, they're good quality, they hug my arms real nice, they handle the washing machine really well, and they're perfect. You can wear them while working out and while just going out and living normal life. So if you guys are interested, make sure you click the link in the description of this video. You'll get a discount too. Now let's get back to the video. Stage 2, strength building. So your goal is going to require a certain level of strength. And stage 2 is gonna be everything that you do to build that strength. Because if you're trying to learn how to do a planche push-up, for example, you have to be strong enough to do a push-up with your entire body weight through a specific range of motion. So that's gonna involve a lot of specific strength training to strengthen that chain of muscles that you're gonna use to perform a planche push-up. And that's where you're gonna do a lot of exercises like pseudo planche push-ups, maybe planche push-ups with light bands while progressively overloading over time, maybe some hyper-specific work with the weights, and so much more. And every single skill is gonna have that. It's gonna have that like hyper-specific chain of muscles or range of motion that you need to strengthen so that you can achieve the skill. And that's gonna lead us straight into the next stage. Stage 3, technique work. So technique work is a little different than pure strength work. It's gonna be very specifically learning how to go through the right trajectories, learning how to activate all the right muscles, learning how to grip the bar correctly, and optimizing the movement. It's almost like hyper-specific work so that you can efficiently use the strength that you're building in stage 2 to perform the skill you're trying to get to. It's a very different focus than pure strength building. It's all about efficiency and optimization of technique. Now, stage 2 and stage 3 are kind of going to be happening together. Like ideally, you will be doing them together, not one then the other. But whether you like it or not, by doing these 2 stages, you're actually going to be building up the 4th stage. Stage 4, conditioning. So bro, Imagine you've never done something before. Imagine you don't have a full planche, and I take you right now and I just put your body into that position and I let you go. What's gonna happen? Most likely you're gonna hurt yourself because you're not conditioned for the skill. But if you did all the strength work and all the technique work in stages 2 and 3, what's gonna happen over time is your body's gonna be building up that conditioning so that you can eventually perform the skill. Your muscles, your tendons, your joints, your chain of muscles working together, all of that starts adapting more and more to bear the load of the final form you're trying to get to. So conditioning is kind of that invisible stage that's happening while you're working, but it matters so much. And with all of that, we arrive at stage 5, attempts. So somewhere along the way of stages 2, 3, and 4, we get to stage 5. You're gonna start attempting the skill. It's inevitable. It's the calisthenics way. It's so fun, you're so excited, you're so hyped, you wanna do it. And of course, you're just gonna start doing attempts. And attempts are super necessary. The only little problem I have with attempts is if you just do attempts one after the other and you don't do the rest of the stuff, you're just gonna waste your time. And not only that, if you don't have the conditioning and you start hammering away at attempts, you might actually end up hurting yourself. So that's my only little beef with attempts. But on the flip side, nothing works without them. You can do all the work you want, but if you're not doing attempts, you're never gonna unlock the skill. Because attempts are the exposure. It's the part where you expose your body to what you're actually trying to get it to do. And it's where your body kind of starts to connect all of the strength work, the technique work, the conditioning. It starts to understand what all of it is for. And that's why attempts matter so much. And inevitably, if you're doing every single stage so far, attempts are gonna lead us to the next stage. Stage 6, the unlock. Finally, one of the most beautiful parts of the sport of calisthenics, and definitely the feeling that gets people super addicted to this sport, the unlock. It's the moment where you unlock a skill. And I can definitely testify to the fact that that's one of the most addicting feelings in the world. Like, bro, something just started out as a dream, just a goal, something maybe you hoped you'd be able to do, but somewhere along the way you were like, holy shit, I really gotta work for this. You tried, you did the ups, the downs, the strength training, technique work, conditioning, and then boom, one day you do it. It's like the best feeling in the world. However, a lot of people get it twisted and they think that the end goal, the top of the pyramid, is the unlock. When really, it's not, bro. There are more stages to come because you didn't just do it once. You did it to make that skill yours. And that's what leads us into the next stage. Stage 7, normalization and simplification. So in my opinion, this is where the real fun starts. Because now that you've unlocked a skill, the next step is to take that skill and make it part of your toolkit. Make it something that you could use, that you can perform every time you train pretty much, that you could use in your working sets, etc. So how do you normalize something? You do it as often as you can. The importance of this stage is to take this skill and make it less mythical. Like, it's not this thing that you're chasing more and more, it's actually this thing that you have. You take it off this pedestal that it used to be on when you were working your way up to getting it. You start doing it often enough that it stops being this huge dramatic thing and just becomes part of your actual practice. And for me, that is one of the most beautiful things in this sport. Because over the course of time, the skill becomes normal for you. Maybe you start building volume with it, doing like multiple reps. You do it every training. And at this point, you could say you are starting to reach the top of the pyramid with this particular skill. Not with everything you do in calisthenics, obviously, because it's very broad and expansive sport. But in this particular skill, if you've gotten to the point where you've unlocked it and now you're using it in your normal trainings, you could pretty much say, yes, like I am reaching the top of the pyramid with this skill. And with time, you will reach stage 8, mastery. What does that mean? That means you have it. This skill is now completely and totally yours. It doesn't have to be a good day. It doesn't even have to be a midday. It could be a bad day and you could still do it. You could do it for reps, for your warm-up set, mid-combo. The best example I like to give for that is muscle-ups. So a lot of you intermediate and advanced athletes are gonna understand this. When I started training calisthenics, I used to go to the gym, warm up, and do so many things so that I could learn how to muscle up. And I would attempt muscle ups and fail and so on and so forth until I finally unlocked it. And then after I unlocked it, I started doing it a lot. And time passed and I got better and better at it, to the point where like right now, today, if you woke me up at 4 in the morning and you were like, yo, Nikki, muscle up check, I guarantee you I could roll out of bed, hop on a bar, and do a muscle up. That means that you've normalized the skill so much that you master it. And now I would like to add this, because a lot of people don't know this and they think mastery is the top of the top. But the truth is, in my opinion, there is one more stage. And it's an interesting one because I don't think I've really heard anyone speak on it before. So the first time it entered my mind is when I was making a video in Bulgaria with Nathan, and he started talking to me about his style. He feels his combos, he feels his planches, and like how, you know, they feel like him. And that's when it started clicking in my head that there is one more stage. Like, yes, you've mastered all these skills. You've gone through every single stage to the point where you've unlocked skills, you've normalized them, you've mastered them, you've put them in your toolkit, all of that, all the work done, right? But you gotta ask yourself a question. For what? And that's what leads us to this 9th stage, which is self-expression. So hear me out, bro. Why have you done all of this? What for? If not to express yourself through your movement, through your discipline, through your practice of calisthenics, if not to express like your energy, your emotions, yourself, your personality, your soul, basically. Let me give you an example. So I don't know how many of you guys are like football fans, soccer, football, like with the foot. But there used to be a player from Brazil called Ronaldinho. He was like one of my favorite players when I was growing up. And I remember what I loved the most about him was like, dude, I never met this guy, I didn't know this guy, but from watching him play his sport, I could almost tell his personality. It's like he had mastered his sport so much that he could express himself just by playing his sport. And I think that is the highest like capstone of the pyramid, like final stage of anything that you do, is you get so good at it and you become such a master of different aspects of it that you could like express who you are through your practice of it. I think that's the most beautiful thing in the world. And that's it, guys. That is the whole pyramid so far in the way that I can see it, at least. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I want to say another special thank you to Into the AM. Guys, if you are interested in getting some really good quality, nice t-shirts, make sure you check that link in my description. If you guys have anything particular you want me to talk about in the next video, let me know. I love you guys. I will see you next time.